The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that Amazon warehouse workers don't have to be paid for the time they spend waiting to pass through security. The company routinely screens workers at the end of their shifts to prevent theft. The justices say companies aren't required to pay employees for the extra time because it's unrelated to their primary job duties. Some Amazon workers say they have to wait up to 25 minutes to clear security before going home. Amazon says security checks take less than 90 seconds.
Good evening. My name is Daryl Terrell. I'm from DarylTerrellTimesAug10 on Facebook. Tonight I want to talk to you about an issue that's dear and close to me. Poverty. Poverty is one of the most pressing issues in my community in the city of Moreno Valley. This evening I would like to share with you on how we, and yes we, because we are in this together, we rise and fall together as one people and one community. We together can build that bridge to your American dream. Even when the most promising headlines, unemployment down, employment up, are tempered with a harsher reality for our people. Many of you are working more than one job. You're working harder than ever, spending more hours on the job, working nights and weekends away from your family. Many of you are spending every morning and many hours in traffic on the freeway to keep a roof over your family's head and food on your family's table. Many of you are spending less time with your kids. You're missing the PTA meeting or Little League games or school play, or even your kid receiving his or hers Student of the Month award. Meanwhile, you're bringing home a smaller paycheck. You're working paycheck to paycheck, one emergency to the next. You're one step ahead of the collection notices, late fees, overdraft fees, and utility cutoff schedules. Most of these problems were not caused overnight. We've been dealing with some of these problems for the last decade or more. Despite the drop in unemployment in our community, wages are still growing too slowly, and that makes it even harder for you to pay for college or save for your retirement. The advance in technology has made a lot of the middle class, good paying jobs obsolete. All these trends have left many of our people behind. For too many of you, the dream of economic mobility has been replaced by the nightmare of economic stagnation. All of you, all you have to do is look around in your community. I can see in my community where I live, as I said before, in the city of Moreno Valley, poverty is hovering around 20%, according to the Census American Community Survey. We have become a haven for check cashing places, payday loans, pawn shops, and liquor stores. Here's the sad truth. Despite the numbers of businesses opening and the industries opening their doors, we are attracting the industries with jobs that have limited or no economic mobility. Good jobs are being replaced by those that don't pay well and require only a limited education or no experience. 2/3 of projected job openings over the next 5 years will come from jobs that require a high school diploma or less and little or no work experience. Don't get me wrong. These jobs are needed for our people who may don't have, that have low skilled, but it doesn't offer a path to the middle class. That's not a surprise why industries with jobs that offer no economic mobility, or why payday loans, lenders come to this community, or check cashing places, or 99-cent store related businesses, pawn shops gravitate to our community, and perhaps to your community. Businesses are attracted to areas that have a demographic that will use its services or workforce. They study an area and assess the demographics and locate businesses, whether they're buyers or workers. If you look at my city, where I live, the demographics according to the Census American Community Survey, 54.8% of our residents who are 25 years or older don't have an education beyond high school, and 76.7% don't have a college degree. Now, what does that mean to our community? It means we attract industries that offer no economic mobility to our people, but does offer sales and property tax revenue and fees, the lifeblood of our community, for city services. But what about our people in our community? Many of our people are trapped in low-wage, dead-end jobs, unprepared to compete for the sustainable jobs in the high-growth sectors of our economy that pays a livable wage and have economic mobility. We can do better. We can reverse those trends. If we want to create a path out of poverty and a bridge to the middle class and beyond for our people, we have to raise our college education attainment levels or develop an educated, trained, skilled workforce. We can attract the high-growth industries like IT, advanced manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, with middle-class jobs to our community. But it's going to require us to be innovative and a different mind skill set. But most importantly, we have to raise the bar of aspiration in our community. We must demonstrate to the high-growth industry communities that we are willing and prepared to create an educated, trained, skilled workforce. Industries make their decisions about where to locate and who to hire based on a few key factors. They look for faster and more reliable transportation and corridors, communication networks, and availability of land. They're looking for a commitment to innovation and investment in basic research so that they can profit from those ideas and new discoveries. But most of all, the single most important thing they are looking for is an educated, skilled, and trained workforce. Our community could have the best industrial site, the best infrastructure, the best rail, and the best interstate. But at the end of the day, before any high-growth industry located in our community, they're going to do a job market or a labor survey. Your community must have an available, educated, skilled workforce to fill those jobs. It doesn't make any sense to bring jobs of that caliber into the community when your own people don't have the skills to fill them. So listen to these facts. 6 out of the 10 jobs in the next 10 years will require some certificated, specialized training or a degree beyond high school, but less than a 4-year degree. So that tells you something, doesn't it? It tells you you don't have to have a 4-year degree to get a decent job that has economic mobility. That's the most important thing. Economic mobility to go to the middle class and have a good, decent wage, a good paying job. Yet, as I mentioned earlier, this is my community. 54.8% of my residents who are 25 years or older don't have an education beyond high school, and 76.7% don't have a college degree, and 8.2% have a 2-year degree, according to the Census American Community Survey. I know college is not for everybody. I know everybody doesn't want to go to college, but check this out. Not all today's well-paying middle-class jobs, including STEM, need a 4-year degree. But you do need some education or some specialized training beyond high school. Now, listen to this. According to the Brookings Institution survey, half of all STEM, which includes science, technology, engineering, and math jobs, like in advanced manufacturing, healthcare, or construction industries, are available to workers without a 4-year degree. These jobs pay $53,000 on the average, a wage of 10% higher than the jobs with the similar education requirements. However, again, there simply aren't as many jobs today that can support a family where only a high school education is required. And if you don't have specialized training or a college degree, there are even fewer jobs available that can keep you out of, yes, poverty. That's a challenge for our community, not only for my community, and for communities across this country. So, what's our community's way forward in getting more of our people ready to work with remarkable skills to fill existing and future jobs in the high growth sectors of our economy? Well, I would like to show you how our community, working together, can attract these high growth industries with jobs that offer economic mobility, but having an educated, trained, and skilled workforce available. I would like to introduce you to an idea that I presented to my city council and submitted into the public record in Moreno Valley on March 10th, 2015 and February 2nd, 2016, called the Raising the Bar Initiative. I presented that proposal to the Western Riverside Council of Governments Executive Committee on June 1st, 2015, to Riverside County Workforce Development Board Executive Board on October 21st, 2015, and to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors on August 8th, 2015. My proposed initiative is an integrated, holistic methodology to cultivate an educated, skilled, trained workforce to compete for the careers in the high-growth industries, as I mentioned earlier. This initiative would do several things. First, it will make our community more competitive in the global economy in attracting high-growth industries to our community. Second, it will create a public-private sector collaboration with our county, our community college, which is Moreno Valley College, and our business and labor community that would leverage resources and share the cost. Third, it would create our own employer-driven workforce development system with the newly collaborative that will empower people, our people, and employers with better data regarding that what jobs are available and what skills are needed to fill those jobs. Fourth, it will create pipelines into our high growth industries who are currently hiring now and into the future, so that our people will be trained for the jobs that exist in our community as opposed to the jobs that don't exist. This method will ensure that we train our people first based on what employers are telling our city they are hiring for. Finally, it will create a high growth industry hybrid of training apprenticeship programs that would allow our people to learn and earn, ensuring that existing and future high growth industries have the workers they need. These programs would address the skill gaps by working with industries and creating employer-driven apprenticeship training you for specific job openings in the high-growth sectors of our economy. It would bridge the divide between job seekers and available high-growth jobs. It would help recruiting high-growth industries to our community. That's the most important thing. If we want to bring these kind of jobs into our community, we got to have an educated, skilled workforce, which we lack. And I know that this task ahead is, be realistic, it's not going to be easy. But our community is full of men and women who work hard, very hard, and live up to their responsibilities. And all they want in return is a chance, yes, to live their American dream, like some of you out there. They just want to be able to know that if they work hard, they can find a job, that can look after their families, they can retire with dignity. They're not going to go bankrupt and when they get sick and maybe take a vacation once in a while. That's nothing fancy. That's what they're looking for, because they know that ultimately what's important is family and community and relationships. And that's possible. That's what our country is supposed to be about. Our community does better when you, who maybe were born into poverty, were able to climb out and go into the middle class. I believe my plan that I presented to you tonight is not only a roadmap out of poverty, but a bridge to your American dream. If we work together as one people, one community, from industry to education, to union leaders, to our city, to our county. And I would like to end with a quote by President Kennedy, who once said, "Things do not happen. Things are made to happen." Let's give our people a reason to hope again and raising their aspirations and living their American dream in our community. And I want to thank you again for listening to me. And till we meet again, don't ever give up hope. This is Daryl Terrell from Daryl Terrell Times on Facebook. May God bless you, and may God bless this great country we live in.